Hi guys, welcome back to Decorating Happily Ever After. I'm Jeffrey Kevin. Please like and subscribe to help my channel grow. Well, today I've set my first Candlemas Tablescape. For many of you, Christmas is already a memory, but technically Candlemas is the last day of the Christmas season. Candlemas is the last of the feast days, also called the Feast of the Presentation of Jesus Christ. It commemorates when Joseph and Mary took baby Jesus to the temple to be presented. In Europe, but not so much here in the US, it's the tradition to take down your Christmas decorations after Candlemas. I myself leave my Christmas trees up until Candlemas. I do take down my Christmas decorations outside after Epiphany, but I leave my candles burning in the windows until Candlemas. So today I've set a Candlemas Tablescape. I'm using vintage china along with crystal accents, lots of candles, and a color scheme of gold and white. So let's take a look around the table. For today's tablescape, I'm using a gold undercloth that I've overlaid with a lace Madeira tablecloth that I've recently acquired. I found it on eBay. I actually won it on an auction. And to tell you a little bit about the lace, it's a bobbin lace. It was originally made by nuns on the island of Madeira. I've also seen women making it in Venice on a video, and I know it's made in other European countries. But it is a handmade lace. It can take up to a year to make a single tablecloth. And as you can see, mine has a heavy all-over pattern. It's a floral pattern in an ivory cloth, and it's trimmed in sort of a pale taupe thread. I'm also going to be using my gold chargers today. I got these on Amazon. I'm going to be using vintage ivory and gold china. This is Castleton Carlton, and I picked this up at a thrift store. I also have the matching salad plates. And I'm also going to be using these lovely vintage plates. They're French Limoges. They have a heavy gold border with a little gold design in the center. I picked this set up, of all places, at Goodwill. I'm going to be using my crystal knife rest along with my gold flatware. I'm going to be using my Longchamp stemware today. And I wanted to bring as much religious symbolism into this table as I could, so I'm going to use this lovely set of vintage glasses. They have white roses trimmed out in gold, and I thought that they would represent Jesus being called the Rose of Sharon. Mother found me these at a thrift store. I don't think I've ever used them before. I'm also going to use my individual butter dishes today. You guys know I use those a lot. I have the matching dinner napkins, and I'm just going to lift the plate and place it underneath. And finally, I have these lovely silver plate communion glasses that have grapes and a gold wash interior. Candlemas falls on February the 2nd, and it's traditional for people to take their candles to church to be blessed. I've also heard that people serve crepes or pancakes as well. Here in the center I have a lovely altar piece. This is an altar candelabra. It has a cross in the center, and the flame represents Christ's divinity, the wick Christ's soul, and the wax Christ's body. So I've just put white candles, and I'm using that as my centerpiece. And on each side I have some white daisies. This is an Infant of Prague vase, and I've just put some white daisies in the back with gold centers. And here on this side I have another bouquet that's here in front of my little porcelain nativity. It's white and gold with baby Jesus, Joseph, and Mary. I have lusters on each side. You guys know I collect these. These are mantle lusters. They're actually mantle decorations, but I like to use them on the table. These are the white milk glass with heavy gold accents. These are a newer pair. They started making them in the 1850s. And I do have a video on mantle lusters if you want to see it. But this is a newer pair. These are probably from the 1960s to 70s. But I thought the white and gold with their applique flowers would be pretty for this tablescape. And then at the far end, I've set one more pair of gold small candle holders. At the center here, I've got a beautiful crown. This is a jeweled crown, and it isn't a candle holder, but I've just put a 3-wick white candle there in the center. But this has pretty rhinestones and it sparkles, and I got that at a department store. Guys, I pretty much grew up non-denominational, so the Feast of Candlemas is relatively new to me. I just love the word Candlemas. I just think it's the neatest word. My great-great-grandfather was a Methodist minister, and I did a little bit of genealogy. Our name goes back to England, and I do have distant relatives who were burned at the stake for being Methodist. Methodism was considered a cult or heresy in England at the time, and on my Sanders side of the family, there were Sanders burned at the stake. So, but the tradition of Candlemas is relatively new to me, but I really like it. I've read that it is celebrated by Catholics, Anglicans, some Protestants, and Methodists. But now, all my growing up, I had never heard of it. But anything I can do to extend the Christmas season, that's great. And I learned of it probably 5 or 6 years ago, and I started the tradition of burning the candles, like I said, in the windows. I keep them on until February the 2nd. I'm sure my neighbors wonder why. I've already taken the Christmas down outside, and I do use the feast as an excuse to leave my Christmas trees up until February the 2nd. And a little more symbolism here. I have this lovely vintage milk glass box. I believe I got this at an antique shop. I've set it here because of the turtle dove. A sacrifice of 2 turtle doves would have been made at the temple. But this has a hand, and I believe originally there would have been some type of bead for the turtle dove's eye. Probably a red one, but I'm not for sure. But I need to find maybe a bead to replace that one of these days. And I've got a crystal dinner bell here. I've also set some crosses here on the table. These are crystal crosses. This one I picked up at Hobby Lobby. This is a really sweet little infant of Prague. A dear late friend gave that to me, so I cherish it. And it normally stays with many of these other pieces in my room with my religious collection. Mother found the nativity set at a thrift store. Now, I've had the little communion glasses for a long time. They too sit on my altar. I believe I got those at an antique shop, but I think those are really pretty. This is a vintage celery dish. I thought the colors went nicely with the color scheme and the china. And here I have a sugar cellar, and it's silver with the gold lining, and there's a little scoop that you use to scoop your sugar cubes or your sugar. I love my new tablecloth. It was a Christmas present from me to me. And guys, you know I'm not big on white, and so I've never really researched lace. I really don't know a lot about it, but a friend online, some of her tablescapes had beautiful lace tablecloths. And so I asked her about her tablecloth, and she told me that it was Madeira lace. And she actually helped me find this cloth on eBay. So thank you, Wendy. I appreciate it. And they are expensive. I've never paid that much for a tablecloth before. But I won it on auction, and she tells me I did get a very good price. So I love it. It was a doozy to iron. When it came, it was really tightly folded and packed, and I have ironed it, but I hope over time more of the wrinkles will come out, and I'm actually going to hang it probably with a clip hanger so that you know, I don't wrinkle it in the future. But it came with a dozen napkins. Here I've got my heavy crystal pitcher. I've told you guys before, Mother found that at a thrift store. And I'm using my gold salt and pepper shakers. Here at the back of the altar candelabra, I've set a bisque angel. I know I keep saying it, but Mother found me that too at a thrift store. And you guys know I like to use a silent butler, and this one went nicely with the theme. It has bumblebees on it in a white and gold pattern, and for those of you not familiar, these are to brush the crumbs from your table. And at this corner of the table, I've set a cake stand. This one has a gold rim, and I've just set a large cloche or dome on top of it. I like to do that. This is a vintage cake stand that I think we picked up maybe thrifting. Now this table could be altered and used for other holidays. I thought it would actually make a pretty Easter table if perhaps you pulled the Infant of Prague away and maybe did some Easter lilies. It would make a pretty Easter table, and also maybe a First Communion tablescape for my Catholic friends. But I thought this was appropriate for the Feast of Candlemas. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a comment below. Give this video a thumbs up and share it with a friend. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, Decorating Happily Ever After, and turn on the notifications bell so you never miss a video. I'm Jeffrey Kevin, wishing you a happy Candlemas. Bye-bye now.